Welcome to the Paranormal Pablo Quick Knowledge Series, and in this video I condense years of my experience and knowledge into a 5-minute video, so by the end of this video you're going to be able to explore urban areas like a pro. But before we start diving into how to get into these places, you guys got to know that there's some really important rules that you guys have to follow no matter what. Rule number 1, never take anything from these abandoned houses, because you're not only risking the fact that they could be full of contaminants like black mold or asbestos even, but not only that, if you guys are caught with that stuff, people online will give you severe backlash. Like, you'll get just tons of hate comments on you doing that, and they'll literally harass you non-stop. Like, there's been cases where people will honestly go and they'll even file fake reports to your job, leaving you out of a job and unemployable in the future. Rule number 2, always attempt to get permission from the owners of these locations. A lot of these places are just like abandoned buildings and people's properties, so a really cool trick that you could do to accomplish that is all tax records for land tax records is actually public. So you can just Google my area public tax records, enter in the address of the home that you're trying to get in, and you can actually find out, is it owned by the state? Is it owned by Mrs. Smith with this phone number, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of times you can even take those names if they don't have a phone number on those land records and just go to Facebook and try to find those people too, and then get proper permission from these people in order to just do things right. And rule number 3 is hyper important. Be super vigilant while you're exploring, because a lot of these places are super old. They're before asbestos was illegal, and they have a crap ton of it. I mean, it's all over the house, lead-based paint you're risking. And some of these places do in fact have electricity still. So if you're exploring and you happen to hear some buzzing, get the heck out of there. You could absolutely get shocked and lead you with some severe heart issues or even death. Rule number 3, this is super important, guys, because while you're exploring these places, you're risking all kinds of airborne contaminants such as black mold, asbestos, lead-based paint. I mean, there was an insane amount of stuff that got outlawed kind of recently that is still present in a lot of these places, so you want to be super mindful of that. So finding these abandoned locations is seriously no easy task, because a lot of urban explorers do keep these places private, because let's face it, people suck. They go and they destroy these properties, or they go throw parties, they go do all kinds of ridiculous things and ruin it for the rest of us. But my way around this is there's a lot of really good resources online, and I've compiled just like a really good system to find these locations. The very first thing I usually go to is urbexunderground.com. That place has a really good resource of places that aren't necessarily demolished yet. Urbexology.com, that's a really good one. Another one would be forgotten-places.net. There is also an app called the Forgotten app that you can use that has a lot of really good locations that you can access still. But one really good trick is, if you're going through Reddit or you're going through YouTube and you're trying to find these locations, which is a good resource too, you can actually take a screenshot or use the snipping tool on your web browser to snip a picture of the location, either the front entrance or just a random thing, because chances are a photographer's probably been in there too taking cool photos. You can use that and reverse Google image search the location, and it will take you directly a lot of times to either coordinates or information about the place. And some really good tips for you guys is to genuinely travel with a group of 2 to 4 people, because you're risking all kinds of things with this. You're gonna want an extra set of eyes for like homeless people, for like sometimes they get really mad that you're in there with them, you know. You're gonna want to bring some water bottles with you, because your biggest enemy if you do get trapped somewhere is going to be hydration. So you're gonna want to last as long as possible, because things doing this sort of thing, anything could happen, so you want to be genuinely cautious. It doesn't matter how small the house is, it could collapse at any time. These things have not been maintained for a long time. You're going to want to bring a respirator as well. Respirators are going to help protect you against those airborne contaminants. Make sure you get like a 3M respirator with a really good filter on it, because it's gonna have asbestos, black mold pretty much in every one of these places. You're gonna want to bring a flashlight, of course, because a lot of these places don't have electricity. They're gonna genuinely be dark as heck, so you're gonna want to make sure to be hyper aware of your surroundings, where you're stepping, and then make sure to absolutely wear gloves whatever you do, because things can seep through your skin. Your skin absorbs all kinds of things, and you can absolutely get into some real good health issues with not having protection on your hands. You're gonna wanna stay hyper clear of still water because still water has a lot of horrible contaminants in it, like freaking, I'm not kidding, brain-eating amoeba. There's been a lot of cases where people have messed with still water and they've gotten brain-eating amoeba, and it is almost untreatable. It is almost certain death for most. This video is a general guide and might not expand to certain specifics, so you're going to want to do as much research before entering these places, because there's also like security and all kinds of stuff, and you really don't want to risk going to jail or paying those hefty freaking fines. Please comment below any additional tips that you might have for other urban explorers, and until next time, that's 5 minutes. I'll see you guys. Bye.